All right, guys, how is everyone doing? I'm excited to be here. So yeah, we're gonna start just in 3 little minutes. Hopefully, everyone can hear me and the audio is okay. Let me know if everything's good. Hi, everyone. How you doing? So good to see you here. Thanks for joining. So yeah, today we're gonna give insane value. Really, really, really insane stuff. I'm excited for today's one. And this is information that is not out there on anything related to Unreal Engine or just game dev in general. So I'm definitely excited for it. So let me just wait 3 more minutes, let a couple more people join, and we'll get started. Let me also see if the audio is good. I'm definitely excited for it. So let me just wait 3 more. Yeah, the audio is good, so we're good to go. Okay, perfect. Let me just put this over here, Okay, then this here, and this here, and this here. Okay, perfect. I have my screen here. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and share the screen. Here we go. Desktop 2, and then I'm gonna put me right here. Yes, perfect. Okay. I should be sharing the screen. Let me know if you guys can actually see it. Okay. Yes, okay, perfect. You guys can see good. Okay. Perfect. In that case, we're good to go. All right. So, like I just mentioned, huge topic today. This is something that is not really talked about in the Unreal Engine community or in general in game dev as much as you actually need it. And a lot of people simply have this problem and they never get to actually finish and release their games because guess what? They never end up finishing them. So in today's session, I'm gonna be seeing very valuable information about how you can start actually finishing your games and releasing them out there. Well, I mean, in general, finishing them. If you want to release them to Steam, you can, but if you want to still just share it with your friends and that's it, that's good enough. So, just let me know, everyone, with a thumbs up on the chat. If you can see the screen, you can hear me good, so we can actually start. And then we'll go into it. Okay, I see the thumbs up. Let's go. All right, we're pumped. Let's get it. Okay. So, serious question. How many Unreal projects have you started in the last year or year and a half or 2 years? And how many have you actually finished? This is a question for you guys on the chat right now. Like a lot. 7, yes. 0. If you're talking about this, 4. Started 3, haven't finished yet. 2 and finished 2. Okay, that's good. 4, 0. Yeah, I see that. As you can see, this number, this ratio will probably be, not so good, right? Not as we actually wanted it to be. We wanted to have a 1-to-1 ratio. We start something and we finish it. So the thing is that this is completely normal. In fact, 70% of solo devs or also small teams never get to finish their game. So as you can see, this is a pretty common, issue going on, right? But there's actually a way to solve this problem, and not a lot of people know about this. So if you are having this problem where you start something and actually never finish your game, well, today we can actually see how to solve it because it's actually pretty straightforward. So this is what we will do in this session. First of all, we will understand why you keep abandoning your games. Then we'll actually learn a 3-phase system to actually finish them. And then you will also leave with a clear next step for your current project or future project. So first things first, why actually listen to me? Well, I've shipped games that got played by the biggest YouTubers and streamers out there. You can see here IShowSpeed, one of the biggest influencers in the whole world with over like 50 million followers playing my game. You can see XQC, one of the biggest streamers in the world, also playing my game. And you can see that the videos about my games got millions of views on YouTube and all that stuff. So this is the key for everything. And not only that, but I've also taught hundreds of thousands of game devs how to do this. And this is what my top students from my mentorship have to say. So this isn't magic or anything crazy. You can actually do it as well. They got the games out there and guess what? Actually finished them. As you can see, they look insane. So let's get started. Why you keep abandoning your games? Gorka, stop bragging. Reason number 1, wrong project size. You scoped a studio game while being one person or a small team with limited time. And this is by far one of the biggest reasons on why people straight up never finish the game. Because they were trying to make the next GTA 6, or they were trying to make an Assassin's Creed copy, or they were trying to make a game as big as Elden Ring. Guys, you have to realize something. You're not a big corporation or studio. So you are only one person or a very small team. And more if you're still actually learning Unreal Engine how to make games. Right? You don't have that complete experience to make something crazy yet, of course, yet. But right now at this time, you need to scope something that is actually finishable. And this is just the most basic main step. And this is by far very obvious, but guess what? So many people just skip this completely and try to make a game as big as GTA. Like, this is the first step. Actually scoping something that you can actually do. Reason number 2, no clear done. Now, what do I mean with this? Well, you actually never defined what finished looks like. So there's always one more feature to add. And this is by far one of the main reasons as well on why people never get to finish the game. Because there's no endpoint, right? You get to a certain degree where you have a playable game, but then you start to add one more feature, and then one more, and then change this, and this and that. And then guess what? This is a loop which starts to break the core loop of the game, and you just end up broken out and you actually never finish the game. And this this is so important, guys. I mean, how many of you have had this problem where you get to a point and then you start adding another feature? Guys, like, you have to define an actual plan and a certain amount of features that you're gonna have, right? And not really, go like this and start to add so many features. Reason number 3, shiny object syndrome. And guess what? I've even suffered this myself, and a lot of people do. And it's essentially when you get a new idea and you start working on that project, but then down the line you get stuck or bored, and guess what? You start another idea. And the old game quietly dies in a folder. This is quite common, right? I mean, it happens to me, it happens to everyone. You start a new game, you're all motivated, hyped up, but then down the line, you see that it starts to take a bit more than expected, and overall, you just get bored or stuck because the blueprints kind of break or something, and then you're just jumping into another new idea and completely abandon that previous game that you were working on, and you never release it, right? It's quite important. So another big reason number 4, messy structure, guys. On this one, you cannot say that you're not having this, because I've seen it all around my Discord, all my mentorship students. Like, you always have a freaking mess of a code, okay? Blueprints and folders become a spaghetti monster, and it feels easier to restart or to abandon than clean up. I mean, how many of you have your blueprints looking like this right now? Like, look at this. Absolute chaos. Obviously, this is just an exaggeration, but you get me. Like, blueprints can get pretty crazy if you don't organize it. And like, look at this. And this not only for blueprints, it also refers to preg files and all that stuff. But if you actually go ahead and clean your stuff, great for you, because that means that you have more chances of finishing the game. And we'll see later on how you actually can improve this. And finally, reason number 5, and this is huge, and absolutely no one talks about this. And you don't know how important this is. This by far, I would say actually the most important one of all. No one is watching. You are building in silence, so motivation dies long before the game is done. You see, you're trying to make your game absolutely solo, or you're sticking it to your small team. And okay, who is drawing right now, man? Okay, let's ignore it. I'll clean up in a second. Robert, please don't draw on the screen. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Like I was saying, you're basically building your whole game alone, or just in your small studio, and maybe only sharing it to your close friends and family. But you see, when you do this, there's not that motivational boost compared to sharing your project. I mean, compare this to sharing your project and having people giving you feedback. You should add this. This looks good. Let's add this. Or directly people saying, man, this game looks amazing. I can't wait for it. When are you releasing? Are you releasing on Steam, on itch.io? When it's gonna be out? I mean, imagine if people were to say that to you. You would literally just finish the game because people are wanting to play it, even though you are a bit burnt out of the project or it is cause. So, you get me? Like why keep it to yourself? You know, there's no reason to keep it to yourself in terms of not sharing it on social media by putting clips out there or things like that. You know, you're not Rockstar Games or Ubisoft or EA working on their next secret project. The more that you share, the more benefits it will bring you later down the line for marketing because you have already an audience waiting for you, and then it's a motivation boost. So this is so important. So important. But you see, I have good news. Because none of these issues that I just talked about are a talent problem or a skill problem. They are system problems, which means that they're very easily fixable. So here comes the 3-phase plan to actually finish a game. So before we continue on, let me know, guys, if you are enjoying the session over here. If still you can see the screen, audio is good, let me know. We can now continue. But I hope that you are getting some valuable information today because, you know, basically this is quite important, I think, in my opinion. Great, all good, thumbs up, perfect. Let's get it, boys. All right. Phase 1, choose right. And you see, this is the core of your game and the most important thing by far. You see, what do I mean with choose right? Like, what is going on? Well, this is the ideation phase. Choosing what your game will look like, and in general, what game you will make. So the ideation phase involves coming up with the genre, the scope, the target audience, the timeline, the resources, the art style, the characters that are gonna have, the story, basically all about the game itself. What game are you making? And this is so important to do at the start because it shapes the complete development. And if you don't do this, you don't have the foundation of your game. And so many people skip this. They do not write on a piece of paper what game they are making. They just go straight into Unreal Engine, click create project, and start aimlessly, making their game. And that sometimes can work, but not if you actually want to finish it in a reasonable time without burning out. So what you can use is the 30-day rule. And this is a thing that I apply every time and that my students apply, and it works every single time. And what is this rule? Well, if you cannot finish version 1, which is a mini prototype demo, in 30 days, solo or in your small team, the scope is too big. And if you use the 30-day rule, you are filtering out all of the ideas burn you out down the line. I mean, this is super useful because you're literally eliminating all the game ideas that you cannot do, or more than you cannot do, to not sound so, limiting like that. The ones that you can actually complete in a reasonable amount of time and all that stuff, So this 30-day rule is super important. And obviously it's an average of 30 days, you can go more and above. But this is a very good filter for your ideation phase. Now, other ideas to think when, coming up with your game idea. Can I build this mostly with existing assets or systems that I already coded before? Can I explain the hook in one sentence? And this is super important later on for marketing. And then, can I finish a basic version in a month? Which is what we said about the 30-day rule. These are simple questions to think about that will, again, filter and eliminate all the other ideas when coming up with a game. Then also plan systems that you have. And this is directly more technical to the game features, but are you gonna have an inventory system? Are you gonna have a health system? Are you gonna have so many maps and so on, right? Everything about your game And you don't know how important this is, because if you know if you need to do an inventory system, maybe you like prepare for it, and this is so important. Continuing with this. So these are two apps or softwares that are so useful and you should 100% use: Notion and Miro. So this is what me and other devs use to plan out their complete games and structure. So I personally like a lot Miro because it's basically like an infinite whiteboard where you can just add sticky notes, images, text, and move things around, and it's super useful. And then Notion is a bit more famous, but it's the same concept, but more like in columns and all that stuff, if you are more of that type of person. But me personally, I'm more visual, so I like Miro a lot. And you see in here, what you would do is add everything that we just mentioned. So instead of writing on a piece of paper, it's actually better if you write it like on a Miro board or Notion, where you can add images, you can add sticky notes, move things around, and you can put things on the to-do list, like make the main menu, make the sound system, and then put it in progress. Okay, I'm doing this, then done. And it creates essential progression. Now we will see this a bit more later on, but yeah, if you haven't set up a Notion or Miro, that's the first thing that you should do. Like when you're starting the game, the first thing you should do is create a Miro board or a Notion, and then you start putting everything down. Okay, so as you can see, I basically used this approach in my most recent game, Yusuka Football, where I went from a simple AI concept image into an actual game. And I used exactly this Miro, as you can see over here, to make that happen. As you can see, it is quite similar, like you can envision, right? This is just an AI image, and then I rebuild it in Unreal Engine 5. So if you use the system, it's very easy to do this. So what do you do when the idea is done? You see, the next steps are fundamental. So you have actually completed the ideation phase. You have everything written down on Miro. So you need to start the development. You need to start making the game in Unreal Engine, right? So you create an Unreal project and set up a repository. Now, what the heck is a repository? Well, some of you will probably already know what is a repository, but it's basically having your project saved in the cloud on a server. So this means that you will have multiple versions that you can go back into. And it is perfect for team working, as each member will upload their work and others download others work to stay updated. And it's better than sending the zip file of your project through Dropbox or Google Drive, right? And why do you need it? Well, it will simply save you hours, and not only in teams but also solo. You see, it's essential to have backups of your project. You don't know how many times I've heard stories of my people from Discord and so on, where they have lost a complete Unreal project after spending months working on it because they just did something wrong. They kind of corrupted the file. They messed up and they cannot go back. So it might not even save you hours. It might save you months if that's the case, right? So having backups is so important. And then, like I said, even if you don't work as a team, you must use solo too, because it creates a sense of progress. You see all the versions that you're putting every single day. It motivates you, and it will also save you when crashes and lost files occur. Okay, so now what? We have the idea structured and planned on the Miro board. We have an online repository set up for our Unreal project, which is still blank because we haven't started. But what do we do next? Well, we know what to do next because we have a lot written down on paper. So this means that we just need to execute inside of Unreal Engine. And this is a game changer because before you were starting at this stage, you skipped everything that we have talked of so far. So you were basically playing in hard mode. You were literally doing this in hard mode because you were not having any foundation to start your game. So here comes phase 2, build smart. So what is this phase? Well, it's basically accelerating your workflow inside of Unreal Engine. So basically, building blueprints in an organized way. modular code, organization, using the easy but long-term methods that are, optimized. All these things that you actually do inside Unreal Engine. So this is an example of a weekly build plan that you can do, and this is something similar that you would do on the Mario board. So for example, week 1, you will set up the core player and movement. Week 2, the main gameplay look. Week 3, UI feedback and polish. Week 4, bugs, packaging, content. Obviously this is just a very rough example. Yours will be way more detailed than this, but this is what is called a sprint. And a sprint in game dev is just the list of tasks that you have to do to get to a specific version in a given deadline. And this is the 30-day rule again. As you can see, it's 1 month. And again, do this all in Notion and Miro. So inside of Unreal Engine, what you have to do is organize the project folders from the start. Like, you have to do this. If you don't do this from the start, later down the line, you will have folders with blueprints from other things. Like, you will have the UIs inside of your sounds folder. You don't want to have this stuff. And the thing is that if you start from the beginning, making sure that everything that you create is organized, you know what? Later down the line, it will be easier to keep it organized. Because, I suffer from this, and a lot of people do. And it's that you start the game, you don't really care about keeping your folders organized, and you start to create stuff, create your inventory, create your health, use whatever, put it in this folder. And then down the line, everything is messed up, and you just go so slow trying to find specific things. And guess what? What you have to do is organize. And at that stage, it is impossible because there's so many assets everywhere that you can just abandon them. You directly just abandon them. So if you keep everything from the start, that's what you have to do. Okay, so next up, create actor components for modular code and reusability. So what is an actor component? Well, it's basically a blueprint class which allows you to create modular code. So instead of, writing, for example, code in your player blueprint, your enemy and all that stuff, you create it one time and then add it where you need. So imagine that we were doing the health system, right? We will create an actor component for the health system, and we had all the code in one place, in that component. And then what we do is simply add that component with the health system into our player, into our enemy, into our animals in the world, and everyone has a health system, but we only coded it once. You don't do it on the player and then code it again for the enemy and then code it again for the animals and all that stuff. So that's why it's super important. Create macros. Reusing snippets of code. This is very important, and a lot of people do, kind of skip this because, let me just clean the drawings. Because when you do a lot of things a lot of times, like a formula, you're basically just wasting time. Imagine that you use the formula in your Unreal Engine project a million times, and maybe it was to calculate the distance between the enemy and the player, and you repeated this sequence of nodes 20 times. Why not create it one time and then simply reuse it? It's just the intelligent way of doing things. And let me go to the next one. Okay, perfect. Use interfaces to interact with any class. So I don't know if you know about interfaces, but interfaces are a smart way to interact between one class and another. If you don't know what a class is, basically like a blueprint, basically. Super optimized and super good. I recommend it so much, and it's so effective. And then protect the core loop. So no new systems until the basic loop is fun and actually working. So this is basically the new feature syndrome, where you go to a certain point and you start adding new features, adding new features, adding new features. And at the end, you simply end up with a crazy amount of tasks that you cannot complete. you burn out and you abandon, and you basically never get to finish the game. That is why you must always protect the core loop, which is defining what the gameplay is. And guess what? That will be written down on your Miro board that we saw a couple of minutes ago. So on the Miro board is where you actually have everything written down, including the core loop, right? The gameplay, everything about it. So if you just always have your Miro on your second screen or monitor, making sure that that's what you're doing, you're good. You will never overscope and you will never break your game. But now we go into the phase 3, which is ship and show. Because I mean, a game isn't finished until someone else can play it. As simple as that. If you implement that rule, you actually, kind of force yourself to finish the game because people can play it. So, ship small, ship ugly. What do I mean with this? Well, the first build that you make, right? The first .exe game that you make when you package it, right? Doesn't need to be the final game. It's basically the version that gets you feedback. And this can be as ugly as it can be, in a given threshold. I mean, it has to look decent, right? So you get some decent feedback as well. But you don't need to have all the final art, all of the final sounds, and the whole map completed. You can have small sections of that, which is called a vertical slice, so that you can show it to people and actually get feedback. And this is super important because it's what we talked about in the beginning of the webinar, which was about working alone. When you work alone and you don't show your progress, you don't have that motivation that others give you when they give you feedback and when they say, this game looks so cool, I am actually excited to play the game, right? So this is very important. Don't put so much emphasis into your first build. Be more lean, be more flexible. You actually improve it as you go. And like I said, show your work. Post clips, GIFs, and screenshots on TikTok, YouTube, X, Discord. Again, for the motivational boost to get feedback and to actually build an audience, so that then when you release the game, you have a group of people that is actually interested in playing. It's basically doing marketing, and you have to do this from the start. It doesn't matter if you're still in the third-person template. It doesn't matter if you still have the mannequin on. Start sharing. I mean, I've seen on Twitter posts just using the default mannequin and the third-person template get hundreds of thousands of views, getting viral. Why? Because they just shared their progress. As simple as that. I mean, obviously, the clip had something cool going on, maybe like a cool inventory system, but that wasn't final. It didn't have, the final characters or anything. So you need to start just sharing from the start. You're basically just wasting potential if you don't show your work from the start. And you see, when you do this, you stop being the person who starts games and you become the person who actually finishes them, which is very important. But you see, there is a problem. I can't simply walk you through every step, blueprint, plan, task, and asset in one live session, right? It's physically impossible. So I built something for you. A step-by-step program that takes this framework and applies it to Unreal Engine 5 from scratch. I present you the new Ultimate Unreal Engine 5 course, which goes from the basics of the idea, planning everything, to the actual development in Unreal Engine 5, so learning Unreal Engine from scratch and making a game, and then going into the marketing and making it viral. Now, what do we actually do inside of the Ultimate Unreal Engine course? Well, like I said, we begin with the ideation phase. So coming up with a unique game idea that you can actually finish and sell, because everything is on the foundation, right? Not only that, but also planning the whole project on a Miro board. So exactly what I have been mentioning many times throughout the webinar, I teach you step by step how to do, how to create a Miro, how to use a template, and how to actually organize everything so you can put your progress and tasks as you go. Not only that, but also track progress through tasks, roadmaps, and sprints, which is very important to actually keep track of your whole game, because this is a huge motivational boost if you actually plan everything. Perfect. Unreal Engine 5's interface. So we will actually go and learn Unreal Engine from scratch in the best possible way. So actually mastering the editor layout, the outliner, details panel, content browser, all that stuff. Actually moving through the viewport, making levels, and organizing your structure and asset management, which is very, very important. And then also building a complete game from zero. So step by step, taking you through the blueprint workflow to make a full pirate adventure game, which looks pretty cool. On a third person tropical island with an interaction system to open up the chest, equip swords, so equip items with an inventory, enemy AIs, and a really cool environment and all that stuff. So if this session helped you, the course is the full version of this system, but way more in depth with videos, templates, and everything that you will need. It's basically the most advanced Unreal Engine course out there, and the one that is the most useful that you can start implementing right now. So it's your choice. You keep starting and abandoning plays, or commit to finishing the next one. And guess what? This has a massive launch discount from $500 to only $249 right now, which includes everything that I've talked about, plus a huge marketing bonus. That's right, where I actually teach you how to find your game's angle and the uniqueness that you can use to make it viral and sell it out there. Not only that, but how to create hooks, scripts, and clips so you actually can make viral TikToks and use the new social media method to get your game out there. And then how to post, test, and grow an audience so that you actually have, an amount of wish list that you can use to promote your game. But that's not all, because I will offer you a second bonus where you can get more than 200 assets that are ready to use for your any praise. And I built this throughout the last years. This includes complete game templates that you can use as a starting point, specific systems such as inventories, health, staminas that you can just add, and then it's easy to migrate into your project. You can just right click, migrate, and import it into your project. And everything is compatible with the latest 5.6 versions, of course. But one last thing. Everyone that joins during this live right now will get access to the limited time bonus for AI systems, where you actually learn how to implement AI tools and systems into your Unreal Engine project, which will give you access to my trained chatbot on Unreal Engine, which basically is a ChatGPT trained with the official Unreal Engine documentation and more of my 800 tutorials. So it's basically the most advanced ChatGPT of Unreal Engine, where you can ask anything and it will give it to you. Not only that, but also learn how to implement AI into Unreal Engine, using the best tools out there to speed up development time. But of course, using it as a tool, not a replacement. So actually learning how to use it properly so that it can speed up your workflow and save you time, but not, replace that creative control that you can have. So I'm gonna go ahead and add right now the link so you guys can check it out on the chat. So I'm gonna put it on the chat of Zoom, and also of YouTube. And you guys can go ahead and check this out. Here we go. Perfect. Copy, paste. There we go. All these links. And then all these links. There we go. So you have all the links on the chat. Let me know if you can access them on Zoom. You can just click the chat icon at the bottom to open it up and check it out. Perfect. So now we begin with the Q&A, where you can ask me anything about your project, your scope, or the course. Is this lifetime? Yes. It's basically just a single payment where you have the complete lessons forever, and you have all the 200 assets forever, and all the bonuses that I talked about. So it's basically forever. Okay, so the game I've been developing is almost finished. Would you like to play it? At least the demo version? Of course. You can always send me demos of your games. I love to play them. I think the best way will be through Discord. So what you can do is just put it on the showcase channel, and then also put it over at my DMs basically. And I'll go ahead and check it out. Difference between vertical slice and beta. Vertical slice is just a specific point of your game where you might have, basically like a section of your level. And a beta is basically a simple version of your whole game. So you have more than just a level, if that makes sense. Let me know what other questions you have. I'm answering all of them over at Zoom. Perfect. On average, how long does it take to prepare someone to play the game on their own? Well, if you mean how long your game would last if you put it out there, it really depends on what game you're making, on the genre, and all that stuff, right? So it's impossible to me to say an average, but if we take in consideration that you are putting the game out there and you're learning and all that stuff, 2 to 3 hours will be a pretty good starting point, pretty good. We need a tutorial for optimizing our projects. Any chance you might build one? Yeah, I do have a couple of them where it involves optimizing, but I could definitely do like a big one on teaching how to optimize. Of course, I'm always down for that. If I buy the course, then I do not longer need to be in the club, right? Well, it depends. It really depends on what you are looking for in the club. There's more weekly calls and all that stuff, but in terms of assets, yeah, the course have them as a bonus. So yeah. Is it good to get game ideas from ChatGPT for my project, and how to ask it properly to help to build the game as a beginner? Yeah, ChatGPT is probably one of the best ways to get game ideas, because ChatGPT can really narrow down, a concept that you have. And if you actually put a very good prompt and you put in information like articles of successful games right now and everything, it will scan them, learn about them, and it will give you better game ideas that can work. So good. So good. So good. How do I learn to use blueprints? As I am at 10 years old and I joined Unity when I was 8. I made a game on Steam. I made $100. Great, congrats, man. I know. I have idea for a huge project. Okay, well, if you want to learn and review blueprints, the best way right now is literally on the Ultimate course that I just created, because I basically implement the best knowledge that I've learned over the years about blueprints and the best explanations. Everything up to date 5.6 is better than any other tutorial that I'm putting out. Can you tell me more about the 200 assets? What are there? Well, the 200 assets, let me show you guys. They are basically, just pre-made assets that you can just add into any project. So this involves complete templates, which range from a third-person shooter to a GTA-like game, a platformer, horror, adventure game, Souls-like game, where you can just import them into your Unreal Engine project. And let me actually, if you want, show them to you guys. Let me go here. Souls-like, adventure, actually. Yep. And then for the specific systems, it's basically like actual mechanics. So yeah, let me show you this real quick. Okay. So for example, oh, I cannot. Okay, wait, give me a second. Here we go. So for example, this is one of the templates included, which is basically like an adventure game where you have platformers, storage, you have a chest that you can interact with, motion matching movement, you just have a quest system. So this is basically one of the templates that is available. Not only that, but you also have you have so many. I'm just gonna show you guys some examples, right? So, but I could be here like 40 minutes. Then this is another one, which is the Souls-like. So this is a complete template on that you can use as a starting point with behavior trees, a boss fight, a really cool warrior. As you can see, it looks really good with target lock and dodges and combo attacks. Again, this is also included in the course on the 200 assets, and many more. Yeah, we have, let me actually list them if you want. Let me actually real quick show you guys over here this. Yeah, so you also have third-person shooter, first-person shooter, a side-scroller, a racing game, filmmaking class, Souls-like, GTA, adventure, like I said, how to make your first games. And then in terms of actual features, well, as you can see, you have complete materials, like outlines that you can use. You have motion matching and animations to add into your project. You have basically adding hats into your things, growing plants over time, custom traces. You have collections of inventory systems, looting assets, pickup systems, how to use your microphone, well, not how to use like an asset that uses your microphone, cinematics, all that stuff. You have also for multiplayer. You also have for interaction systems, so picking up an object, opening a door, teleporting the player, checkpoints, helmets, cables, elevators, launch pads, an actor that faces the player. You also have a boss fight with state trees. You have zombie AIs, enemy spawners, waypoint for the AIs, flying AIs with swimming AIs. You have boss fights, ranged, all that stuff. You have also open worlds with PCG, so procedural landscapes and procedural foliage, coral reefs, tropical islands, adding moss on a mesh, spawning along a spline. There's there's guys, I could keep going. There's audio meta sounds, background music loop, dynamic meta sound, music triggers, footsteps. There's VFX, so Niagara fluid explosions, tilt ship effects, footsteps, water sounds, blood with Niagara, simple outlines, a falling effect, overlay pickup. We keep going, guys. We keep going. Head bobbing, dodge roll, move camera to location, aim to zoom in, fixed camera clipping, smooth movements, UI and menus. We have character selection menu, game instances, like a credits menu, NPC level pop-up, 3D widgets that faces your camera for the AIs, crosshair, input text box, widget notification, skill trees, modular UI systems, controls on screen, survival things like thirst system, hunger, danger zone, health system, health pickup, game start countdown. We have building systems, so you can put a build preview, a socket with a log. Yeah, there's quite a couple of assets inside. Let's say there's 200 then, guys. Yeah. If you have any other questions, let me know. And yeah, everything is included in the course, as well as the actual sections, all about the ideation. So setting up the Miro board and all that stuff, and then tracking progress, learning all about the UI of Unreal Engine, and then completing the whole game. And then not only that, but also marketing bonus, so how to market your whole game and make it viral out there. The 200 assets that I just covered, and then also the AI systems that you learn how to create efficiently. And yeah, it is a couple of stuff. So again, let me share the links on the chats if you guys wanna see this and check it out. Let me put the links. Yeah, so I'm putting all the links on the chat, guys, if you want to check out the Ultimate Unreal Engine course. And yeah, and this is basically by far one of the most advanced Unreal Engine courses out there, which includes ideation and marketing. No other Unreal Engine course covers how to come up with a great game idea, plan everything on a Miro board, and then also how to market it and make it go viral. Apart from actually learning Unreal Engine and making a game with Unreal Engine, you know? So it's one of the most extensive courses out there. And yeah, it's quite extensive. So if you have any other questions, let me know. Let me know. How long does this discount last? Well, for now it's gonna be until Tuesday, so after the weekend. But the AI bonus is only available during this call. So as soon as we close this webinar, this bonus will be out. Perfect. Okay. So let me guys know if you have any other questions. Hey, there's no good weapon animation on Fab and it's free. Could you please make something like that? Yeah, so in the 200 assets, you have included weapon animations that you can use, which is a bonus of the course. So yeah, for the course, you will have many animations like that. Can I tag you collab when I start my devlog? Of course, man. Always happy to have me tagged. Of course, I would love to see that. What should I do if I don't have the price? Well, you can always do a payment plan also, and split it in 3 months if that's something that you are looking into. Is there support provided? Yeah. So give you access to my private Discord channels where you can ask questions about any topic of the course. But yeah. Let me know. How to make Rubius play my game. Well, that's that's kind of covered in my marketing section of the course. And obviously I cannot guarantee that Rubius will play also your game, but we will go over things that make him go and play my game, and make other streamers play your game as well. Yeah. Lyra versus Gasp, better one. It depends. If you want to build a shooter game, Lyra has you covered. If you just want to have the base of the movement for like an adventure game or anything, Gasp, yeah, so guys, all the links are on the chat as I mentioned. how much money we can make with UE5 if we are working jobs or freelancing. Well, it depends. What are you talking? If you're talking about selling games, a lot. If your game goes viral, and all that stuff. If you're talking about like as a developer in UE5, like working in a team or freelancing, like making blueprints. If I mean, I don't know, man. It really depends. It really depends on your rates, how much you work, all that stuff. But a lot. Honestly, this industry is pretty good. How can I text for a private course? Hassan just DM me on Discord for a mentorship. Vehicle time trial template. There seems to be two landscapes overlapping. Yeah, so I did recently a big tutorial on the vehicle template. So you can probably check that out. I'm not sure if I. Will this offer be available again at some point? Well, the offer of the course is until Tuesday, but the one of the AI bonus is only available right now, this moment, until the webinar ends. All that stuff. Can you talk more about show your work? Yeah, of course. What you want me to talk about? Can we actually make a $200,000 per year if we master Blueprint and C++? I mean, really, really depends. But of course, even more. I mean, it really depends if you're making a successful game, or if you are working as a dev, which also Unreal Engine industry is pretty good. About thinking, mindset, workflow. Of course, I mean, all about that I cover also in the course, inside of the ideation phase, and not only that, but in my tutorials. Gorka's retired, living the dream. Not yet, bro, not yet, but soon. Where can I see the details of the course? Yeah, let me I don't know why I cannot ping the Zoom, so let me guys put it again. Here's the link, it's on the chat. How many forces do you have in general? What do you mean with forces? I think during phase 1 we must decide how much money we can spend on our project. Then you close budget for assets, server multiplayer. The things that you don't really need to spend anything significant. Now, as you can see, assets are very affordable. As for example, the 200 assets that I'm giving you in the course. And then for multiplayer, if you're doing the thing where one player hosts and the friends join, that's basically free with the Epic online services or using the Steam subsystem. So really, now the doors are crazy. Will this be on YouTube? Yes. So the recording. So if you miss something, the recording will be on YouTube. Yes. What do we call who designs enemy AI only? Well, if you're looking into that profession, I guess that's like, I don't know, the person who who AI designer or something. I imagine. I think, yeah, maybe. Will the bonuses be delivered on the website or a separate email? Yeah, it will be all included on the website. So once you join the course, you will have everything there. Of course, all the lectures and resources and links, all that stuff. Yeah. Is it possible to make a game without spending nothing? Yes. I mean, now, yes. If you make everything yourself, like 3D models, or you use free 3D models and you code everything, yeah. Or at least, very, very low, how do you say, very low price. How would I master C++? I want to learn. Well, the best thing to learn C++ is first to know how to use blueprints. And once you know the core of blueprints, it's easier to transfer into C++. I would just say, like, look some tutorials, practicing, all that stuff. Link not working? What do you mean? It should work. Let me know, guys, if the link works. yeah, it should work, right? Guys, the link works for the course? I think it does, right? 100% it should. Link works, okay, perfect. How long is the course? The course has more than 80 lectures, so a lot of hours, and a lot of resources now. How to go about making a simple Sifu style art style? Well, that will be all about the post-process effects, the animation thing that you use. Does industry use Blender? Yeah, Blender right now is like the industry default for making games. Some people use that, but yeah. Will this offer happen again? Maybe around Christmas time? Probably not. Honestly, for now, my intention is just to give you guys this offer right now, and that's it. So honestly, I'm not sure if I will ever repeat this offer again. It's just too good, guys. Too good to be true. It's about the course, but the only thing I see on the website are the videos, how to get the assets. Yes, so Alex, you get access to the assets in just a couple of hours. I'm basically joining everything so you can download them very easy. And also updating the course with some extra new lectures and all that stuff in oncoming hours. So basically today, if you check out the course page a bit later, you should see all that extra stuff, all the 200 assets and all that stuff. Yeah, all the extra lectures. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll also give you access to the private Discord channel so you can ask any questions, Alex, as well. Why would you choose Blender over UE in the industry? Well, I mean, there are different things, Faith. Blender is to make 3D models and animations, and Unreal Engine is to make the actual games, the worlds, the blueprints, code them up, all that stuff, you know? Now with Unreal Engine, you can also model and make animations, but you know, Blender is more in depth on that side of things, right? If you get what I mean. But yes. Yeah. Let me know if you have any other questions, guys. And again, let me put the link on the chat. Again, if you want to check out the course. No. So we must ready to compromise on security like every AI agent, guys. Okay, so Rahul, if you're talking about multiplayer safety, if you just use the Epic online services and online sessions plugin, you will have no issue with security whatsoever to leak the IP, sorry, or anything. It will be all safe using the mainstream. Yeah, so don't worry about that. And if you're trying to do an MMO server, that will probably be a dedicated server, which involves some costs. And I'm not sure how much that will be. That will be a bit more. Okay, cool. Want to make sure I was using those tools appropriate, meaning the process to use Blender for modeling and clean up assets, then bring them to you. Yeah, for sure, Faith. That's good. How to start learning environment design as beginners properly? Well, in the course, I do go in depth into environment design when we create the Pirate Island, which is this one over here. So you'll learn about making an island with an ocean, water, landscape, and foliage, and all that stuff. So yeah, we go in depth in the course as well. But of course, I have tutorials as well. It's inspiring. Thank you, Gorka. My pleasure, Sergi. Of course, anytime. About Sifu, the combat animations are so custom. Yeah, Asus. So basically, if you're gonna make something similar to Sifu, you have to make custom animations or find a pack which has those style of animations, which is harder. But you can always do that as well. I wish I could get the course. I just can't afford them. Yeah, no worries, Healthy. I mean, I also introduced a payment plan so you can split the thing in months. So it's more accessible for you guys if that's a problem. So just let me know. If your game is hyped and played, you would need a lot of servers. But with the game growth, you have RSS to afford more servers. Yeah, I mean, it's basically a one-to-one scale, right? You got more players, you got more revenue, so you can, put more servers. But again, if you're making the system where one player hosts the game and the other one joins, it's free because the other player is is the server, so you don't have anything for that. So yeah, let me see also the questions that you guys have on YouTube. Let me see. Blueprint is really useful to me to understand the architecture of code, how to use functions and macros and libraries to help to make the jump to C++. Yeah, I mean, Blueprint is amazing. But you know what? Like, you don't need C++ at this point. I've talked with so many developers that have made insane games just with Blueprints, including me. So now you don't really need C++. C++, honestly, it was more like a different method to do things. It was more like, optimized, let's say. But at this point, Blueprints are so optimized and that stuff that you don't need so many C++ things if you're not trying to change the game code or anything like that. So yeah, and that's it. Yeah, this is just a Q&A summit. So yeah, if you have any question or anything, let me know. But yeah, and let me know if the webinar for today was very valuable. I think that there's a lot of value in it because not a lot of people talk about the ideation phase and actually making a Miro board and organizing your tasks that you have to do, and then the marketing and how to not burn out. Everyone just talks about UEFI, blueprints, but no one talks about the other stuff which involves in making a game, right? Like getting the foundation things done and actually like planning things. So you know what I mean? Super important. Super important. Yeah, Superstructure Gorka. You can check out my 3D. Oh yeah, I'm seeing. That's cool, man. A while ago, you did a video on YouTube about a free flow combat system. Is it available on Fab? I'm not sure exactly which one you're referring. I've covered many combat systems, but if it was like a collab, then yes, probably yes. Then yes. By the way, do you accept crypto for payment? No, I believe it's only the options that are right now on the website. Yeah, no crypto for now. I would love to put it in, but the platform itself like doesn't allow me. Where I host the course. Even with the plan, I still can't afford that much. Man, yeah. Yes, I mean it's hard, man. It's Batman Arkham like. Oh yeah, so that one is still in Fab. Yeah. That one, the free flow combat, it was a collab and it's still available on Fab. Yes sir. Yes sir. Perfect. Okay guys, so I don't know if you guys have any other questions about your current project, your next steps forward, or in general the course, but let me know. And yeah, be tuned because we'll be making more live sessions like this that brings a lot of value into the Unreal Engine community, and I'm super excited every time that I do one of these. So simply let me know. Again, I'm gonna put the links on the chat, and that's it. Hope you guys have fun, man. we will get more tutorials live. Yeah. We'll be having more lives very soon in the future. So, don't worry about that. More will be coming, which will be really cool. So yeah. All right, guys. So thanks for jumping into the webinar. Really appreciate you guys. If you have any other questions, just let me know through Discord. Just DM me or put it on the general chat or whatever. And yeah, the guys who just sign up onto the course will give you access to the 200 assets and also the private Discord channels, so you guys can check all that stuff out. So yeah, be tuned to your email for the next webinar. Be tuned on the Discord server, all that stuff. And yeah, guys, thanks so much for jumping in. Really appreciate you guys here and putting your time and effort into the webinar. Give me any other feedback that you guys want to see for the next things, and be tuned. And for the Discord link, you can just check it out my Discord. Sorry, my Discord on my YouTube. You have there my Discord right away. So just check it out. All right, guys.